Hello, sports fans. Welcome to the Oklahoma Sports Report OU Football Edition. I'm Heath, with me, Mark Rodgers, and we are at Cohiba Lounge on Boyd and Jenkins here in Norman, where this Saturday and Friday you can enjoy Patron tastings and raffles, a Grey Goose cocktail, or a Drew Estate cigar cut and light event here this Friday and Saturday. So come by the Cohiba Lounge and you can enjoy the homecoming just like we will. Speaking of homecoming, OU coming off a bye week, a big defeat of Texas, and facing the University of Central Florida this Saturday. Homecoming. Your thoughts on all of that?
Well, I think the off week came in a pretty good time. You don't want to have the emotional high of beating Texas and then have to get ready to prepare for a team the next week. So I think that they can kind of gather themselves and get refocused and ready to hit this 6-game stretch where they're going to be favored to win every game. There's not to say that there's not some challenges potentially out there. And this Central Florida team has scored points at times this year. They've had an injury to their quarterback. And so it's a well-coached team on offense. Gus Malzahn is a pretty good coach. They've got some good players, a couple of transfers to the skill positions from Auburn and Alabama. And so Oklahoma's going to have to be ready to play.
Well, and the question is the quarterback. Is he going to be ready to play? Probably not. Right now it doesn't look like it. So filling in for that, they've scored a lot of points, and they are, fourth or so in the country in scoring points. But it's going to be interesting. I like your point about it gives OU a chance to kind of get over the high of beating Texas. You can celebrate that. They always say, well, we're going to celebrate it for 24 hours. Well, that's not how kids are. When they have a big game like that, it has a tendency to carry over. So they should be ready to go. And UCF is a good offensive team, as you said. Defense, maybe not so much. And we'll talk more about that here in a little bit. We are at Cohiba Lounge and Royal Pipes here at Jenkins and Boyd in Norman, where you can come in and enjoy a Drew Estate cigar cut and light event at any time, and your favorite drink and sports event here at Cohiba Lounge. We'll be right back.
Let us help you get on your journey to feeling better and living a more healthy life. Dr. Gumman at Harmony Healing Center is dedicated to providing personalized care to each of his patients. Internationally trained and nationally recognized, with over 24 years of practice, Dr. Gumman is the highest recommended acupuncturist in Oklahoma. Call and schedule your appointment today.
Hi friends. Did you know that over 80 million men and women suffer from hair loss? Well, now there's help. Dr. Victoria Johnson and her staff at Laser Light Skin Clinic are introducing a revolutionary laser hair loss treatment called Alma-TED. Alma-TED uses a proprietary laser that will help stop hair loss and promote growth. For more information, give Dr. Victoria Johnson and her staff at Laser Light a call and stop hair loss today.
You are the most beautiful creation under the sun. Daily Informations. You are going to make Table 14 so happy. And you are being taken away. All right. At Neighborhood Jam, you deserve breakfast as beautiful as you. So start the day right with scratch-made favorites, morning or midday, every day. Treat yourself to Neighborhood Jam. You're gonna taste just as good tomorrow.
Oh man, dude, I really wish I could make that. It's National No Pants Day, and that'd be kind of inappropriate.
We actually just had gas station sushi, and you just don't want to chance that.
We're gonna be running tornado drills all day.
I have tickets to see Kenny Rodgers. He's what?
Tornado drill.
Your friends are tired of coming up with excuses. Two Fellas Moving Company, saving friendships since 1996.
Wander Folk Spirits distilled out of Guthrie, Oklahoma. Great line of spirits. They have Wander Folk Gin, Wander Folk Vodka, and Old Moses Bourbon. All of these are quality products, and they're distilled right here in Oklahoma. So support Oklahoma business. Ask your favorite restaurant or bar to carry Wander Folk Spirits. And welcome back. Oklahoma Sports Report OU Football Edition. Mark Rodgers, Heath from Cohiba Lounge here in Norman. Jenkins, and Boyd. You know, in the older years, it was always kind of a post-Texas hangover is what they talked about. Well, looking at it now, OU since 1999, 23-1.
That's right. You know, I don't know if it was that way a little bit with Coach Switzer. I mean, that game still has all of the emotions to it, and in those 24 years, there's been great battles of top 10 teams, kind of like what we had a couple weeks ago. So, hey, credit to Stoops, Riley, and everybody for getting the job done after the game.
Yeah, and I think Bob Stoops is one of, that basically since '99 when he came in. Also, they averaged the victory of those 23 was average margin of victory 23.5. So that makes the 20 points or so they're giving to UCF pretty good.
I think so. OU's covered the spread every game this year. I mean, I think that no reason why this shouldn't continue. Defensively, OU's been good all season long, and Dylan Gabriel's cranking along. UCF has allowed a ton of yards in the Big 12 games, and this is the toughest opponent they faced so far.
It's one of those things that Vegas generally catches up, makes adjustments.
Oh yeah, they do.
So they will at some point. It hadn't happened yet. Another little jewel here for you.
Okay, I like it.
OU was 7-0 for just the third time in the past 18 years.
It's a good number. The schedule has been fairly soft other than Texas so far this season. And remember, a game that they had scheduled against Georgia didn't happen. And so Oklahoma always usually challenges itself in the non-conference portion of the schedule, but that just didn't quite work out this year.
I would have liked to have seen that.
It worked out really well for both OU and Georgia, I think.
But we'll see it when they're in the SEC at some point, and that will be worth it. Also, Dylan Gabriel, OU starting quarterback, played at UCF. Under current Oklahoma offensive coordinator, Jeff Levy was the offensive coordinator, Josh Heupel. So a lot of connections there, with and Dylan Gabriel. This is one of these that you'll love. Okay, this is a nugget you'll love.
Been studying.
Yes, Dylan Gabriel is just one of just 2 FBS players since the start of the 1996 season, and the only one in the last 25 years to complete at least 72% of his passes through his team's first 6 games of a season, while throwing for 16 touchdowns and having 2 or fewer interceptions.
Wow.
While rushing for 200 yards.
Oh my gosh, all right. He's one of 2 guys?
One of 2 guys. And guess who the other one was?
Since when?
Since 1996.
I'm going to go Marcus Mariota.
No. Dante Culpepper.
Okay, well, UCF.
Yeah, and guess where he went to school?
Yeah.
UCF.
Right, all right.
So that's kind of 2 UCF former quarterbacks, a current OU quarterback, only one of 2 that have achieved that high marker.
I'm impressed with the UCF program overall. So they went to Division I in 1996. And since then, they've kind of worked their way up the ranks. They played in, this will be the 4th different conference that they've played in, but they've really been pretty good in everything that they've done since they've transitioned into Division I. They've had some good seasons. They knocked off Baylor when Baylor was really highly ranked. And so I think that was 2014, I believe. And I think that with the size of the university, the commitment they have, they got a really good athletic director in Terry Mohair, that they will be able to recruit, and I think the stature of elevating in the Big 12 is I think they're going to be in the race once they get acclimated. After a couple of years in the conference, I think UCF is going to be a challenger about every year.
I agree with you. I think they'll be one of the powers to be, even more so than Cincinnati, Houston, those other teams. Here's some more little facts for you, courtesy of the OU Sports Information Department. OU is just one of 2 teams to rank in the top 7 in both scoring offense, their 3rd in scoring offense, and scoring defense. They happen to be 7th.
I know who the other team is.
Okay.
Air Force.
Air Force. No.
No,
it is. It is.
Yeah, thank you.
It is.
Okay.
But yeah, that's another thing is they're in the top 7 in both scoring and defense, which that bodes well for what Brent Venables is doing with this team.
Well, that's how you get to 6-0 against the spread too.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't allow many points and you score a bunch of points, that's pretty good.
Well, Dylan Gabriel Gabriel holds a lot of records at UCF, passing records, and he's only going to be at OU for a short amount of time, so he won't really be able to set the records because OU's past history. But he is doing a great job for OU's offense. And for those that were the Dillon Gabriel haters, now, because, I mean, how could you be?
I've never really ran into any such people. It's kind of like razors and apples on Halloween and stuff like that. You hear a lot about it, but really there's nobody that's not really ever happened. I don't know. I've never met a Dillon Gabriel hater.
Well, I met one, and I did a preseason bet with him on a very nice pizza that Dillon Gabriel would lead the Big 12 in passing, and he liked that so much.
You ought to win automatically if he's the Heisman Trophy winner.
Yeah, exactly. So do I won that. But you know, they have a lot of, you know, the offense has a lot of momentum. The defense has a lot of momentum, and we'll talk about the defense when we come back. Hey, we have a new a contest for you that you can win a $50 gift certificate to a Hal Smith restaurant group. Just follow me on Twitter at Rick Heath Sports, and we'll pick one new follower each week to win a $50 gift certificate. So just the bottom of the screen, just go there and follow me at Rick Heath Sports, and we'll pick one winner for a $50 gift certificate to Hal Smith Restaurant Group.
Let us help you get on your journey to feeling better and living a more healthy life. Dr. Gumman at Harmony Healing Center is dedicated to providing personalized care to each of his patients. Internationally trained and nationally recognized, with over 24 years of practice, Dr. Gumman is the highest recommended acupuncturist in Oklahoma. Call and schedule your appointment today.
Hi friends, did you know that over 80 million men and women suffer from hair loss? Well, now there's help. Dr. Victoria Johnson and her staff at Laser Light Skin Clinic are introducing a revolutionary laser hair loss treatment called Alma TED. Alma TED uses a proprietary laser that will help stop hair loss and promote growth. For more information, give Dr. Victoria Johnson and her staff at Laser Light a call and stop hair loss today.
You are the most beautiful creation under the sun. Daily Informations. You are going to make Table 14 so happy. And you are being taken away. All right. At Neighborhood Jam, you deserve breakfast as beautiful as you. So start the day right with scratch-made favorites, morning or midday, every day. Treat yourself to Neighborhood Jam. You're gonna taste just as good tomorrow.
Oh man, dude, I really wish I could make that. It's National No Pants Day, and that'd be kind of inappropriate.
We actually just had gas station sushi, and you just don't want to chance that.
We're gonna be running tornado drills all day.
I have tickets to see Kenny Rodgers. He's what?
Tornado drill.
Your friends are tired of coming up with excuses. Two Fellas Moving Company, saving friendships since 1996.
Wander Folk Spirits distilled out of Guthrie, Oklahoma. Great line of spirits. They have Wander Folk Gin, Wander Folk Vodka, and Old Moses Bourbon. All of these are quality products, and they're distilled right here in Oklahoma. So support Oklahoma business. Ask your favorite restaurant or bar to carry Wander Folk Spirits.
Let us help you get on your journey to feeling better and living a more healthy life. Dr. Gumman at Harmony Healing Center is dedicated to providing personalized care to each of his patients. Internationally trained and nationally recognized, with over 24 years of practice, Dr. Gumman is the highest recommended acupuncturist in Oklahoma. Call and schedule your appointment today.
Hi friends. Did you know that over 80 million men and women suffer from hair loss? Well, now there's help. Dr. Victoria Johnson and her staff at Laser Light Skin Clinic are introducing a revolutionary laser hair loss treatment called Alma TED. Alma TED uses a proprietary laser that will help stop hair loss and promote growth. For more information, give Dr. Victoria Johnson and her staff at Laser Light a call and stop hair loss today. And welcome back. Oklahoma Sports Report, OU Football Edition. Mark Rodgers, Rick Heath from Cohiba Lounge and Royal Pipes. Royal Pipes, where you can get a wonderful tasting Drew Estate cigar at the cut and light ceremony this Friday or Saturday. While you're smoking this wonderful cigar, you can have a Grey Goose cocktail, or they're having Patron tastings and raffles on Friday and Saturday of homecoming weekend here at Cohiba Lounge. Mark, we've talked about how much the defense has improved for OU. What do you attribute that to? There's probably multiple reasons, but give us your opinion there.
Hard work, like anything else. I think number one, I think that the team really has embraced the new Brent's system. I'm sure they worked hard on it in the offseason, been in great shape. Strength and conditioning, never can give enough credit to Jerry Schmidt, who I think is one of the very best in the country. They've played more guys, so there's a lot of depth there. And then I think that you've seen an impact of recruiting right away, better players on campus. Jared Kanik, one of Brent Venables' first class. Gentry Williams, another guy playing great at the cornerback position, where OU really, they've struggled at that spot in the last several years. So I think it's a combination of all three. Better players, I think they're more used to the scheme, and I think that they've went to work last year after having a 6-7 record.
Well, I think a lot of it also can be attributed to Danny Stutzworth. Did you get the Stutzworth? That's his new nickname for me. Him, Bosworth and Stutzman. So.
That's a good combination. He's great, but he's one of the guys that's a better player, and it's taken him a while. So he's had to adjust. Last year, he wasn't playing downhill, playing more as a reactor, and he's going to be in line for a lot of awards and honors, I think, this year. He's one of the better linebackers.
And I think that's going to show well for him, because he's had some moments on national TV where he shined out, and he's getting a lot of national press. Well, and that's good. It brings more a light more to the OU defense, and so that helps throughout the whole defense. The other point I think that's really, really important, as you pointed out, depth, defensive line depth.
Yeah.
They are able to rotate quality players in. Now, they may not always get the sacks and to the quarterback, but they are there, and they've been really tough against the run.
They have been really good against the run, and that's a group of guys, some of them that have been around for a while, that are just playing better, and that's why I think that there's an emphasis on adjusting to the system and just being in better shape and condition and practicing better with better habits that's allowed them to get to this point.
Well, I got to credit Brent Venables. I was highly critical of his sideline abilities and head coaching abilities last year. This year, he has shown so much better on the sidelines, being able to be in control of game situations. And I think that has shown in a lot of the games that they've played, where he is being a head coach again, as well as the defensive coordinator, and he's showing that he can do both, because if it wasn't for Brent Venables' coaching, that defense wouldn't be near as good.
I think he's done an exceptional job, and I think that he's in line for a potential, Conference Coach of the Year, obviously, but maybe even for more national honors with what he's been able to do this year with this team. Now, again, they face one test and they pass that with pretty flying colors, and we'll see how this goes. Can they be consistent enough week to week to win games they're supposed to win, and then they'll have to go back and face another challenge in the conference championship.
Well, and that's always going to be the situation is, okay, one game at a time. Easy to say, harder to do.
Yeah.
Okay, but this bye, as you said, comes at a great time, because it gives them a chance to regenerate their enthusiasm and get healthy and refocus the rest of the year. And they can look at it and go, hey, look, guys, one game at a time. If they can maintain that focus, they have a really good chance to win out.
Pressure increases significantly on undefeated teams when you get into November.
Yes.
So this is a team that's now 6-0, 6 games left. When you face it, say, example, an in-state rival like Oklahoma State, and you're undefeated, then that's going to be a challenge. I mean, you get the best effort from a lot of teams.
Well, you're going to get.
Oklahoma State, I don't talk much about them, but they're on this run right now. They're 8-1 as an underdog at home, and they've beaten 7 teams that have been ranked in the top 25. So last team to beat them in that situation where Oklahoma State was a home dog was OU. But Oklahoma State's shown that they can be pretty good at home.
Well, they got 2 big road tests. They got at Kansas, And you can say what you want to say, but Kansas is a good team, and then at Oklahoma State.
Yep.
And those are going to be two big challenges. I mean, really, if they win one of those two and not go 0-2, I think they're still in good shape for the Big 12.
TCU at home will be a challenge. I mean, these games, they're not in the layup category. They're all going to be around this 18 to 20 point favorite, and teams like that lose it from time to time. So.
And then, you got to maintain your focus. Speaking of focus on the bottom of the screen here, and you can get a chance to win a $50 gift certificate. We're going to give a $50 gift certificate to the House Smith Restaurant Group, each week to a new follower. So just follow me on Twitter or X, however you want to call it, at Rick Heath Sports. And we'll select a new follower each week for a $50 gift certificate. We'll be right back. Welcome back, Oklahoma Sports Report, OU Football Edition. Mark Rodgers, Rick Heath from Cohiba Lounge, where this weekend, Friday and Saturday, you can enjoy Patron tequila tastings and raffles. They have a ton of gifts to raffle away here from Patron. They also are going to have Grey Goose cocktails, and they're going to have a Drew Estate cigar cut and light ceremony and event here Friday and Saturday this homecoming weekend. So to spend the homecoming, come over to Cohiba Lounge and get a cigar at Royal Pipes and enjoy the homecoming. Mark, UCF ranks 4th in the country in scoring, and they are averaging 517 yards a game. But on the opposite side, OU defense is 2nd in the nation with 12 interceptions and leads the nation with a plus 1.8 turnover margin.
Yeah, and I think
something's got to give.
Well, I think some of those turnovers, sometimes you get lucky with turnovers, but a lot of times you force turnovers, and I think that's been more the case for the OU defenses. They've really forced some turnovers, and you look at the big hit that Billy Bowman had in the Cotton Bowl on JT Sanders, the Texas tight end, and Oklahoma comes up with that interception. So I think OU's done a great job of forcing those. You got to tell you, though, that the statistics that UCF has built up, most of those came in the first 3 weeks, which is non-conference games. They played Villanova. It'd be a really tough opponent if it was basketball, but it's not so much in football. They played Kent State, and they played Boise State. Boise State is not quite as good as they were when they knocked off Oklahoma in the Fiesta Bowl way back when. But and so statistically in the Big 12, they've allowed a ton of rushing yards. They've been very good against the pass, but again, they face teams that like to run the football that they've been able to do.
230-something yards a game is what they're giving up rushing in Big 12.
277. They're 19th in the country in pass defense. But again, if you don't face teams that are going to throw the ball very much, Kansas State decided not to throw it. Kansas is running it wild against them. They had 3 running backs go over 90 yards. Teams would prefer to just run, and so I don't know that could be a little bit of a false statistic for UCF. I think the OU offense should really move the ball.
Well, the OU offense is really coming into its own. Dylan Gabriel has complete control of it. He's throwing and passing and rushing. I do have to point out that I predicted he would have a good game against Texas in the rushing category, and did. Made a big difference. But this Saturday, it looks like it should be a high-scoring game as far as what OU should be able to put up. Their defense plays well against a team that does have explosiveness and has done well earlier in the year. Can they do it again? I look for this to be, I don't want to say easy. That's not a good game. But it should be a comfortable win for OU.
I agree. You want to give me a score?
I'll give you a score at the end.
Okay, all right.
I don't want to spoil for the viewers there.
Okay.
I don't want them to run off and get a bet in before I actually get a chance to tell them what the score is going to be. So, other national games though, Ohio State, Penn State, interesting game.
Yeah, those teams in the Big Ten, Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, all in the top 6 defensively in the country. Really good on that side of the football. You just figure the home team is going to have an advantage here. I think Ohio State's got better players than Penn State, but a turnover here, turnover there, and Ohio State's quarterback play hasn't been what it's used to be, and so maybe Penn State could potentially pull an upset there.
Well, I thought so too. I talked to one of my Penn State Nittany Lion former players, and he's not a big James Franklin fan.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, some people like him, some people don't, but they've got they got a good team.
They've got a good team. They've had a good record, but my friend that played at Penn State goes, I just don't like how he manages a game. He gives away too many opportunities.
Yeah.
I don't know that because I don't follow it that close, but he said that's what will happen on Saturday. Saturday. So I'll look to see if that is what happens.
I think it'll be a close game. The line is a little outside of a field goal. Maybe that's too many to give. I don't know. I think Ohio State. I feel pretty comfortably Ohio State will win the game.
Josh Heupel at Alabama. Tennessee
doesn't have the offense that he had a year ago, and Alabama on defense is still pretty good. People counted Alabama out after they lost this year. To Texas. I still think they're really good. They've got to get good quarterback play. If the game was in Knoxville like it was last year, I'd give Tennessee a better chance.
All right, and here's the favorite whipping boy for OU fans, Utah at USC.
All right, I got this one, man. This is one of my favorite games of the week. I like USC to bounce back. There were some misleading statistics in that game. Caleb Williams has been really good at not turning the ball over. USC turned it over 5 times at Notre Dame and still statistically won the game. I don't think Utah's offense is very explosive, and so I think USC bounces back this week and gets a big win.
And I don't have a problem with that. And that's one of those things that, hey, I very rarely am I ever going to bet against Caleb Williams.
Right.
So, okay, my prediction for OU UCF,
let's hear it.
45-21.
That's right, kind of right around the point spread. OU covers the game this week. I like that.
Yeah, so that's my. You guys can go out and bet $1 billion on there and share it with me. Hey, that's going to do it for this week's show. Have a great homecoming, OU, and we will see you next week on the Oklahoma Sports Report.